everyone, my name is Lara and today I'm going to be talking to you about civil engineering. But before we get into the details of civil engineering, we first have to understand engineering. Engineering is anything that is built. So if you look around you, you might see tables, chairs. If you look outside, you might see roads, and these are all things that were built. There are many different types of engineering, and civil engineering is one of them. Let's think about it this way. And if you want to actually get up and do this, you can. If you were to get up right now and move anywhere in any way you wanted, and another one of your family members could too, what would happen? So let's visualize this with dominoes. I have put 4 different colored dominoes on here, and I'm moving them around, and let's see what happens. So as we can see from the video, they just keep bumping into each other. So let's think about this with cars. If anyone could drive anywhere in any way they want, what would happen? Cars would probably bump into each other, right? So a civil engineer not only builds roads and designs them, but they also make sure that we are safe and that cars can move without having to hit each other. So now let's think about different things a civil engineer might consider before building a road. Civil engineers consider whether a street is narrow or wide because that can tell them how many cars can fit on that street, how many driving lanes they can have, and how many parking spots they can have on that street. So another thing that they have to think about is whether or not they want to put up traffic signs and how many traffic signs and what types of traffic signs. We have been thinking like civil engineers, but now we actually have to be civil engineers. So to do that, we have to solve a puzzle. But before we can actually solve the puzzle, you have to build yours to look like mine. Using dominoes and a shoebox, please build this road design. If you don't have dominoes, you can use paper or anything else you might have. Hopefully now that we have all built that road, we can start solving it. Since no civil engineer has worked on this road before, we're going to have to think of a new way to move the bus to the parking spot. And if we remember from before, the bus is yellow and the parking spots are blue. I'm going to explain a little bit more about what each domino does. So let's think of this road as a puzzle. The blue pieces are the parking spots. The yellow pieces are our bus, and we're trying to move our bus to the parking spot. And our bus can move straight, kind of like that. The orange and pink pieces can also move straight, but they're cars. So the pink one might look like this, and the orange one looks like this when it moves. To make it easier for you, I've also done this on my computer. You can take a look with me now. The bus can also move vertically up and down. Remember, you're trying to move the yellow bus to the parking space. Okay, let's take a look at this road. Remember, we're trying to move the bus, this bus, to that parking spot. So, let's try a few different things. First, let's try doing this. Okay, so we can't do that because we just keep bumping into the orange car, and that's just going to cause an accident, and that's not safe. So let's try something else. Can we do this?
No, because that keeps bumping into the pink car. And that's going to cause an accident. And that's not safe. So let's try to do something else. So we just tried moving this here, and we just tried moving that here. Let's try doing it in a different order. What if we move this first, and then move these, and then move this? It works. So the order we move these cars matter because that is the only way we can get the bus to get into the parking spot. Remember, the very first thing we have to do is move the pink car, and then we have to move the orange cars, and then the yellow bus, so we don't make an accident
or crash into other cars. Just like we saw in that video, the cars need to move in a specific order for the bus to be able to move and park on the parking spot. So, we know the order that the cars need to move in, but how do we tell the cars what order they need to move in? Let's rethink back to something we talked about earlier. Earlier we said that civil engineers use traffic signs to communicate things to drivers and cars and buses and everyone who uses roads. So, maybe we can use a traffic sign to tell the cars what way they should go. Now that we understand that civil engineers make roads safer, you can now design your own road. You can use dominoes or paper or anything else you have at home to make your road. Remember, just like we talked about, you first need to know if you want your street to be narrow or wide, because that will tell you how many cars fit on your street. Then decide how many traffic signs you want on your road. If you'd like to send us your designs, we would be happy to look.